Hey people, what's going on? Is it Thursday already? It sure is the 19th of December. We're moving right towards Christmas. Cheers. So, my channel is apparently a psychology petri dish because, just like I said, sure enough, we have a couple people who I blocked them and they're so desperate to try to get to me that they start a new. I didn't read your comment. You called yourself John this time. I can see the beginning of your thoughts and I just deleted. It's like, I don't care what you think. Why are you trying so hard? Now, the one that I left, which I will delete in a second, but I deleted already. But as I said, referring to myself as a petri dish of psychology, here we have some other person saying, poor Jeff, you should call him back. Poor Jeff, nothing. You don't know the situation. It's not a poor Jeff. See, that's why I speak like this, because some of the worst things happen because people make assumptions with no information. This person has no idea of the relationship between me and Jeff. I won't even say his last name, but it ain't poor Jeff. And I've dealt with Jeff insulting me to my face in my house about the issue of immigration and racism, and him saying some really insensitive, unintelligent things. So there ain't no poor Jeff. So see, I know that when I talk about this, it's like reopening a can of worms, but the world is a can of worms, and so ignoring it just keeps it going. So just pardon me when I address these things, folks, because again, the purpose is educational, okay? It's going to go on, but I'm nonplussed, okay? Unlike yesterday, the highlight of my day was watching Phil Collins's 2-hour Drumeo interview with his son Nick and the guy that runs the channel, who has an interesting last name, Taves, Toews. I went to high school with the Taves. His family had money until they lost most of it. But Phil Collins is an example of someone who has, over the years, dealt with a lot of public derision and misperception of him as a person, and it has hurt him. He's taken it personally. And I just, know that, there's no reason for me to take personally the thoughts and words of others, strangers or friends, okay? I decide. That's the key that most people don't seem to get about opinions and about interacting with other people. You decide how you react to the person, okay? What I have here is folks who are, in pretty bad shape or something mentally, where they're insisting that they can somehow um, 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 hurt me. It's really strange, complete strangers wanting to inflict mental pain on someone they don't even know. And you don't even know why. And I don't care. And I'm glad. So that's why I share it. It is hard to not take things personally, but you can. And I work on it. And as I've said in the past, the book, The Four Agreements, when I got turned on to that book, it made a difference. It's work. It's it's work that you work on every day. So that's why I talk about it, folks, okay? But to get back to the Phil Collins thing, that was a wonderful 2 hours of my day yesterday. And, Phil's injuries and subsequent physical condition because of all the surgeries, you know, it messed him up bad, couldn't play the drums, no feeling in one foot. But the other thing that shows, and also it's apparent in the interview, listening to Phil talk about things, is that he's a sentimental person. He's a deep feeling person. He's a caring person, but he's old school where stuff hurts him, and he carries it around like a weight. And I'm just glad that I'm on to the psychology of behavior. So I just, swipe these people away, And isn't it interesting that people are so intent on getting my attention that they'll wait till the middle of the night or early in the morning. So the first thing I see when I wake up is their comments. I don't read them, The one about Jeff was so short. The other one, it's like he wants to launch into, and it's all I have to see is the first part about, me sitting in front of my computer. Well, whatever I do is what I do. It doesn't matter at all what anyone has to say about what I do. They don't know what I do. You see me when I'm in front of this. I have such a strong presence that indeed you may think I'm sitting here all day. It's pretty obvious from the, well, maybe not to a dummy, but it's pretty obvious to anybody else. When you look at my videos, what I talk about, what I've done over the years, I do a lot. But anyway, to get to some more, to get to another interview that I watched yesterday, because again, I'm a human being, I love spending time in this room with my music and stuff. I saw an interview with Jerome Rimson, the bass player, who I became aware of through being an Automatic Man. What a wonderful interview. The channel left me a comment saying, "Oh, thanks for leaving a comment and please subscribe and all this stuff." And see, I don't need to do that. But he is another brother like me, where he talked about in his upbringing, he loves soul music and black music. It's us, but he also really got turned on by rock music, like me, and other music besides rock. I got turned on to the world. But it was interesting to hear all the work that he's done that I hadn't heard about, working with Van Morrison, producing the English black band Real Thing. I had watched a documentary about them a while back. It was enlightening. But it was like, yeah, and then all the people that he's worked with, all the stuff that he's done, and it's just, again, an example of the black-white divide that I'm just now starting to see anything about him. And it was great to hear him talk about Automatic Man, because this first album in particular I think could have been groundbreaking had people taken it up. Very futuristic and powerful, with Mike Shreve from Santana on drums. And then the second album, it's like they very obviously caved into pressure to try and write something to get on the radio. It is practical stuff, to try to make some money, get a hit, if that's what you're in it for, which I've never been. That's why I'm really happy, like last night when I went to bed, playing one of my old CDs of stuff that I was working on to see if I'd missed anything that might be worth, working on, and I did. But that's the part that I have the part that I want, which is the ability to make this music and to make it well. That's the part that I wanted, not this chasing fame and stuff. That was a good interview. And I also want to comment about how much I loved the rapport that I could sense between Phil Collins and his son Nick. They have a good relationship. Phil is a good father. See, I'm using what I call one of my regular cups. It's funny because it's like I dropped this and almost broke this the other day. The meaning means even more to me. My friend Michael Teach, this is his dog. Michael just died in Chicago. So the other cup, I enjoyed it yesterday, but it's on the shelf. I also wanted to just go ahead and show right quick that I've been asked several times about Aphex Twin. Aphex Twin has a cumulative effect on the progression of electronic music. I personally find a lot of what he does not very fun to listen to. Do I study Aphex Twin? Not really. But I have Aphex Twin, so I'm just showing a few here. I'll endeavor to put some on this morning just to refresh my memory. What is this one called? B-Box LR. See, this new thing that someone asked me or told me about the other day, my response might have been slightly flip. I didn't mean anything personal. I don't need to buy it. That was what I felt like saying. They said, "Oh, Aphex Twin's got this new thing." I already knew because I watched the news, the music news, and these are tracks that were exclusive to his merch table that just came out. I knew. Another one, Aphex Twin Peel Session sticker. Come to Daddy. That's a harsh video, isn't it? Sure is. That's what I grabbed. I have more. Oh, here's okay, they got mixed a bit. There's two more, and I actually have more than this on CD. Aphex Twin. I be checking shit out, people. I do. And then, of course, is this Selected Ambient Works? Yeah. Yesterday, another record that got pulled that I thought maybe it was time for it to sell, but again, it's nothing. It's valueless. But it's like as I listen to it, it's like now I hear why I kept it. A band from Leeds, UK, Good Shepherds, 1. No names that I know of ever came from this band, and I think they made 2 records. Bought this back in the 80s, and it struck me then when I first heard it that these guys are a little bit pushing they're adding synths to the basic rock thing and trying something different. They don't sound like anyone. They have a woman lead singer. It's just black vinyl, but it's a small label, Good Shepherds. And it's slightly robotic, but actually, no, it actually has this kind of grind to it. And I found myself bobbing along to it, and I said, yeah, that's good. So it's a keeper. Someone mentioned this other band. I have to look it up. I went ahead and watched it, and it's like, oh, I forgot, but I actually watched these guys already, because a lot of things I'll check out through video. And I forget the name of the band already, but I actually knew about them. They're good. They are. Kind of the shoegaze thing. In pulling the Aphex Twin, these other records came out as well. Then I have a couple more records to show from yesterday. This is an Omaha band, Apathy, Out the Window, their 1 album. Of note, these are the Homan brothers. Unfortunately, Mike Homan passed away, and then his brother Jim, right there, his younger brother, Jim was an original member of RAF. When I first joined RAF, there were two guitarists, Paul Murky and Jim Holman. And then shortly after, I don't know how long it was after I joined, but Jim quit. And next thing you know, they started this band Apathy. And Seth Kirschman on vocals, Mark Blackman on drums. This is okay. It's has a lot of potential, is what I'd say. It's not punk rock, it's rock. This is pulled because it was next to Aphex Twin Aorta. I think the band was based out of Chicago, but the bass player is from Omaha. And James Vincent, who made some real cool fusion type records, apparently was in the band, but not on this album. This is a psychedelic. This is psychedelic and really good. I won't call it a classic because it's uneven, but it's got some real high points. In my mind's eye is one. There's another one that got pulled that was next to the Aphex Twin. How do you say her name? Ichiko Aoba. Now here's another one where I discovered this by seeing the video. And it was like, oh, this is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Japanese woman. Kind of almost like a pastel sound. She sings. Her melodies and arrangements are notable and beautiful. Now, yesterday I played a couple more records, and the highlight of the records was Grauzone. And I still have an original 3-inch CD of Ice Bear and Film 2. When they came out on Play It Again Sam, that was how I kind of knew to pick up on them. Certain labels, Play It Again Sam is a good label. They were ahead of the game, and they also played this trashy post-punk rock, and it's really good. I found myself playing a couple of sides of this twice, and they have a track called Rom. It's killer. Just killer. Yes, I love sharing my passion, as someone pointed out. You share your passion for music every day. I do. I love sharing it. That was the other thing that I liked about Jerome Rimson, is as he talked about the different people he's met and things he's done and the places he's played, the natural enthusiasm and childlike passion for it just bubbled out. I really enjoyed I left a comment, I really enjoyed the interview. Here's something I haven't played for years, and it was interesting. Jeff Greinke, Cities in Fog. This was made back in the early 80s. He's one of the, I would say, leaders in the school of ambient drone music. This is him playing electronics, guitar, and tapes, and then processing. And this is the only one I have on album. I have a CD as well. There were parts of it that were spooky to me, because of what he's using, And at the time then, with the advent of industrial music, it was still kind of the thing to do, to add elements that are not necessarily comforting. And so this was a very interesting listen yesterday. Very interesting. So that's what I have to share today. And I love sharing with you folks. Oh, I have another thing I can show. And I will not be deterred by negative people, and I will continue to call them out because I know they'll return, like flies on shit. See, that's the trigger for them. Ooh, that nigger, I'll fix him. You see what I'm doing with this? And the other reason why I do it is because I don't think a lot of white people or non-black people understand the insanity of racism that we deal with. And I am 69, I'll be 70 in a few months. So I've been dealing with this a long time. So I have no reason to cave in to idiots trying to tell me my business, what I should do, what I should say, or trying to insult me. It's like, I've been living with this insanity and mental illness my entire life. So I'll be an advocate for reason and for love, because these people aren't showing me any love, and I didn't do nothing to them. You hear me, people? What do you think? We already know that the people are not going to change. That's not the point of me bringing it up. The point of me bringing it up is educational, letting you know that I'm fine, that it's not working, and that it's just plain weird, crazy, immature, and wrong that this just goes on. It's been going on for almost the whole time I've been on the channel. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? So I'll remind you that my sister is back on YouTube trying to make $1 with the art. So the link is in the last video. I'll leave the link again with this video. And I'll wait to talk about encouraging sales of my CDs until tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. And it just seems like, Friday is still payday for a lot of people. And maybe you want to buy something, okay? Have a good day.